ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், தொண்டரடிப்படி ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பெரியவாச்சான் பிள்ளை திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீசைலேஷ தயாபாத்திரம் தீபக்தியாதி குணாண்டமம் யதீந்திர பிரவணம் வந்தே நம்ம ஜாமாதரம் முனிம் ரம்ய ஜாமாத்ரி யோகீந்திர பாத ரேகாமயம் சதா ததா யத்தாத்ம சத்தாதிம் ராமானுஜ முனிம் பஜே லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாத யாமுன மத்தியமாம் அஸ்மத் ஆச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம் यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजे युग्मरुक्मं व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवतयस्तनया भूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेरुकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्ग्रियुगळं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं शरश्च महताह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिमाहान् भक्ताङ्ग्रिरेण परकाले यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. மத்தொன்னும் வேண்டாம் மனமே மதிலரங்கர் கத்தினம் மேய்த்த கழனை கீழ் உத்த திருமாலை பாடும் சீர் தொண்டரடிப்படி எம்பெருமானை எப்பொழுதும் பேசு. திவ்ய பிரபந்தம் சீரீஸ் ஆஃப் லெக்சர்ஸ், திருமாலை, very beautiful divya prabandham composed by thondaradipadi alvar, bhaktangri renu alvar. We have a very wonderful commentary given by Periyavachan Pillai for this prabandham, very elaborate one. With the help of this commentary and Puttur Swamy's simple Tamil explanation for that commentary, we have been enjoying the meanings for this thirumAlai. In the beginning of this prabandham, in the Avatarika itself, on the first few pasurams, the greatness of Nama Sankirtanam was revealed by Thondaradipadi Alvar, and also how it is a very easy means to attain bhagavAn was highlighted. Still, in our sampradhAyam, we don't consider anything other than bhagavAn as upAyam. We consider only bhagavAn as the upAyam. Shastram may be pointing to many different upAyams, karma yogam, jnana yogam, bhakti yogam, and then there is the popular one, which is Nama Sankirtanam, Bhagavan Nama Sankirtanam, reciting the names of Bhagavan, which has no rules, regulations, anyone can do. So this Nama Sankirtanam is greatly glorified. Still, when it comes to practical application, as Sri Vaishnavas, we only consider Bhagavan as the exclusive upAyam. Even Nama Sankirtanam is to be done only as upAyam, that is Kainkaryam, for the pleasure of Bhagavan. That is the final conclusion given by our Purvacharyas. And that aspect is beautifully revealed in this 38th pasuram, மேம்பொருள் போகவிட்டு மெய்மையை மிக உணர்ந்து ஆம்பரிசு அறிந்து கொண்டு ஐம்புலர் அகத்தடக்கி காம்பர தலை சிரைத்து உன் கடைத்தலை இருந்து வாழும் சோம்பரை உகத்தி போலும் ஷூழ்புணல் அரங்கத்தானே. Very beautiful pasuram. We are going to see the introduction for this pasuram, which is a very elaborate, detailed introduction given by Periyavachan Pillai. When we go through this introduction, we will understand the importance of having Bhagavan only as the exclusive upAyam and not considering anything else as upAyam. As Sri Vaishnavas, we must not consider karma yogam, jnana yogam, bhakti yogam, Nama Sankirtanam or anything else as upAyam, and we must have complete faith in Bhagavan and pursue Bhagavan as the only upAyam as instructed by Bhagavan himself. Bhagavan himself says in Shri Bhagavad Gita Charma Shlokam, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shushaha. So there he says clearly, without any doubt, that we should only surrender to Bhagavan and Bhagavan will eliminate all our difficulties, and we should not worry for our benefits. Even the ultimate benefit of eternal Kainkaryam, we should not worry for that. We can pray to Bhagavan for eternal Kainkaryam, but we should not worry for that because it is Bhagavan's responsibility once we surrender unto him. So that aspect is very clearly shown in this pasuram. Let us see the introduction given by Periyavachan Pillai. This will eliminate all the doubts, because many people have many doubts about Nama Sankirtanam specifically, whether it is to be perceived as the upayam by Sri Vaishnavas. And for that, Periyavachan Pillai clears all those doubts, just like Bhagavan, Krishna cleared all these doubts in Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan explained Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Avatara Rahasya Jnanam. Everything was explained by Bhagavan. And whenever he explained any of those upayams, Shastriya upayams, the upayams shown in Shastram, he glorified those upayams very nicely. But when it came to final conclusion, he said, give up all those upayams and surrender unto me only. So that was the clear conclusion given by Bhagavan. In the same way, Alvar is also following in the footsteps of Bhagavan and saying the same thing. Now it is time to establish the philosophy. All along we have seen the glories of Bhagavan's Nama. That is one thing. But when it comes to philosophy, what we need to practice and how we need to live our life, that is shown in this pasuram. Let us see the introduction given by Periyavachan Pillai now. Just like for Mahabharatam, there is Charma Shlokam. This pasuram is for this prabandham. So what does that mean? In Mahabharatam, there is many aspects which are shown. Among all of those, the most important aspect for us to understand is Charma Shlokam. The essence of Mahabharatam can be said to be Charma Shlokam, that is Sarvadharman Parityaja Shlokam. Similarly, the essence of this prabandham, after going through and understanding this prabandham, what should we have understood? That is the question. That is explained in this pasuram. We should have understood clearly that Bhagavan is the upayam and Bhagavan is the upAyam. And we should give up all self-efforts to attain Bhagavan. Whether it is Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Nama Sankirtanam, Divideshavasam, everything should be done as Kainkaryam and not upayam. That is the concept here. So, Periyavachan Pillai himself explains it further. Mahabharatam. What is Mahabharatam? What are its greatness? That is explained in a Purana shlokams. There are a couple of places where it is explained. It is present in Vayu Puranam and Shiva Puranam also. That is, Madhivandanam Avidya Yenasau Shruti Sagarat Jagaditaya Janito Mahabharata Chandramaha. This is the shlokam which highlights the greatness of Mahabharatam. Mahabharata was created by Vedavyasa Bhagavan. How did he do it? He took the ocean of Vedam, Shruti, and he used his buddhi, intellect, as the mortar, and he churned the Vedam. The outcome is this Chandra. Mahabharatam is shown as the Chandra, moon, which is present for the welfare of the entire world. In the night, it is Chandra, the moon, which gives the light for the world. So, similarly, in the darkness, this Mahabharatam gives us the light of knowledge. In the darkness is ignorance here, light is knowledge here. So that is the greatness of Mahabharatam as shown in Vayu Puranam and Shiva Puranam. So as said in that, this Mahabharatam is the essence of Shruti. Now, just as Bhagavan, Sarveshwaran, Sriman Narayana churned the Kshirabdi and gave the Amritam, nectar to Devatas, similarly, Bhagavan's incarnation, Vedavyasa Bhagavan. Vedavyasa is said to be a Gaunavataram, that is Aveshavataram of Bhagavan. He churned the ocean of Vedas and he gave Mahabharatam, which is for the upliftment of the Jivatmas, for everyone to be uplifted, to be liberated. This Mahabharatam was given by Vedavyasa Bhagavan as the reason for, as the means for Atma Ujjivanam, says Periyavachan Pillai. Now, this Amritam, nectar given by Bhagavan, Ishvara, to Devatas, that is Bandhakam. It will still bind them in this world only. It will make them live long and enjoy in this world and then again bind them into this world only. But the Mahabharatam, which is given by Vedavyasa Bhagavan for the sake of samsaris, materialistic people, it is the one which will eliminate the samsaram for the people. So that is explained here first. Now, that Mahabharata can be said as just extraneous, useless aspect when we see Sri Gita. When we see Sri Bhagavad Gita, at that time we can see that the Mahabharata itself is extraneous. Only the Gita is the essence. So just like in the concepts given in Vedam, the Mahabharata is the essence. In the concepts given in Mahabharatam, Sri Gita is said to be the essence. And then in the Gita, in the Sri Bhagavad Gita, what is the essence? That is Charma Shlokam. So this Charma Shlokam is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. All of the instructions given by Bhagavan in Sri Gita can be ignored and we can focus on Charma Shlokam exclusively because that is containing the essence. So when Bhagavan instructed about Karma Yoga, he praises Karma Yoga. Just because he praises Karma Yoga, we should not start doing Karma Yoga now. Because as Sharanagatas, as Prapannas, as Jivatmas who are helpless and who want to totally surrender to Bhagavan, we don't have any engagement in any of these upayams. So that is the concept. That is why Bhagavan said, you give up all the upayams and surrender unto me only. So we pursue Bhagavan as the upayam. Similarly, in this Prabandham also, Alvar emphasizes Nama Sankirtanam and many other aspects. But still, at the end of the day, what is our philosophy? That is highlighted in this Prabandham, in this pAsuram. So, where do we find this rooted on? How is this done by Alvar? He is simply following the footsteps of Bhagavan. So, Bhagavan gave Bhagavad Gita and then he gave Charma Shlokam in Bhagavad Gita, where the real essence of Bhagavad Gita is given. So, to explain Bhagavad Gita, to explain Charma Shlokam, only for that purpose, Bhagavan gave the entire Gita. Because if we understand the entire Gita, then we will understand clearly how other upayams are Swarupa Virodham and how Bhagavan as the upayam is apt for the Swarupam, Swarupanurupam. So that will be understood. So that is why he explained all of those before, and finally Bhagavan said that all the other upayams are there, but you don't pursue all of them. You pursue me as the upayam. So that is the important aspect here. Because after explaining the Charma Shlokam, Sarvadharman Parityajya, Bhagavan highlights the greatness of Charma Shlokam. Idam te natapaskaya, nabhaktaya kadachana, nacha shushrusave vachyam, nachamam yobhyasuyati. So Bhagavan says in the 67th Shlokam, after explaining the Charma Shlokam, in the next Shlokam itself, Bhagavan says, this Shastram, this Charma Shlokam, this should not be given to those who are those who have not done any tapasya, those who have not done any pursuits to control their mind, to engage in Bhagavan. So for such people, this should not be said. And then those who don't have any interest in listening to this, we should not tell this Charma Shlokam. And then the one who is having hatred towards me, Bhagavan, we should not instruct this Charma Shlokam. So, after giving the Charma Shlokam, Bhagavan becomes very cautious and highlights the greatness of Charma Shlokam and says that it should not be given to everyone. It should be given to those who have some love towards Bhagavan, some commitment towards liberation, towards eternal Kainkariam. For such people, this can be given, but for others, this should not be given, says Bhagavan himself. So, similarly, just as the purpose of Mahabharatam is to reveal Charma Shlokam, the purpose of this Prabandham, thirumAlai, talking about so many different things in this dhivyaprabandham, is to highlight the greatness of Bhagavan as upAyam, which is highlighted in this pAsuram. So the entire 37 pAsurams can be given as the introduction section, preface for this pAsuram, this 38th pAsuram. So that is highlighted here. So what about the remaining pasurams? After 38th pasuram, what about the remaining pasurams? That question may arise. For that also, Periyavachan Pillai explains that the remaining portion of this Prabandham are explaining the glories, the greatness of those who are fully established in Bhagavan as upAyam and Bhagavan as upAyam. So Bhagavan is the means, Bhagavan is the goal. So those who are like that, the greatness of such people should be praised, should be highlighted. That is done in the remaining pasurams. So, Periyavachan Pillai highlights all of these. Hence, just like Mahabharata Saram is Charma Shlokam, similarly, the essence of this Prabandham, thirumAlai, is this pasuram. And what is this pasuram highlighting about? This is talking about the meaning of Dvaya Mahamantram. In our Sri Vaishnava sampradhAyam, Dvaya Mahamantram is a very important mantram. It is said, Japtavyam Guru Paramparayam Dvayamam by Pillai Lokacharya. Pillai Lokacharya says that we should only be chanting, we should only be doing japa of Guru Parampara followed by Dvaya Mahamantram. We never recite Dvaya Mahamantram alone. We always recite Guru Parampara, saluting our Acharya Parampara, then only we recite Dvaya Mahamantram. What is the purpose of Dvaya Mahamantram? Dvaya Mahamantram explains the upAyam and upAyam. In the first line of Dvaya Mahamantram, we accept Pirati, Sri Mahalakshmi, as the Purushakaram, as the recommending person, and then we accept Bhagavan, Sriman Narayana, his lotus feet, as the upAyam. So we do that pursuit. We accept Bhagavan as upAyam in the first line. And in the second line, we pray for eternal Kainkariam to Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana for their satisfaction. So this is Dvaya Mahamantram's meaning. It is revealed in this pasuram, says Alvar, says Periyavachan Pillai here. Now, what is the setup of, what is the structure of Dvaya Mahamantram? It talks about Prapakam in the beginning, and then it talks about Prapyam. In the first line, it talks about the means to be pursued, that is Bhagavan's lotus feet. In the second line, it talks about Prapyam, the goal to be attained, eternal Kainkariam to Sri Mahalakshmi and Sriman Narayana. Now, in this pasuram, it is little bit reversed. The goal is identified in the first two lines and the means are explained in the second two lines, in the second half. Now, why is this difference? That question is raised, and Periyavachan Pillai is giving clarification for that. There is the time of instruction and there is time of practical application. During the time of instruction, we always explain the greatness of the goal to be attained first, so that people get some interest in that, and then we explain the means to attain that. So in the Dvaya Mahamantram, which is the instruction stage, in that the application is done first. The Dvaya Mahamantram is the application stage. That is the practice which we have to do. So there, the means to attain Bhagavan, that is Bhagavan's lotus feet, is the means, that is highlighted first. Because when we practice something, we have to do the means first, and then only the goal will be received, the goal will be attained. So in Dvayamaha Mantram, which is the practical application, the upAyam is pursued first, and then the upAyam, the goal, is attained subsequently. That is spelled out subsequently. But during instructions, which is this pAsuram? This pAsuram is instructing us. Periyavachan Pillai is showing that Alvar is instructing us what to do. So there, the greatness of the goal, attainment of the goal, is first highlighted, and then the process to attain that is highlighted. If you tell somebody that you have to do so much, you have to have so much faith in Bhagavan that you should not think about anything else, and then finally explain that if you do all of this, you will attain Sri Vaikuntham, which is a great place, then people may not have the ability and the conviction to pursue that, because they get scared thinking about the upayam, what we have to give up. But if you tell the greatness of the goal to be attained, if you go to Sri Vaikuntham, it will be so happy, it will be very enjoyable, then people will develop the conviction to pursue the upayam. At that time, if you tell the upayam that you have to hold on to Bhagavan's lotus feet without any distraction, with complete faith, then people will accept. So while instructing, the goal is highlighted first, and then the means will be highlighted next. But during the practice, during the application, the means will be highlighted first, and then the goal will be highlighted. So this is the difference between Dvayamaha Mantram and Membarul Pogavitte, this pAsuram. There in Dvayamaha Mantram, upayam is highlighted first, and then upayam is highlighted next, because Dvayam is our practical application. We have to constantly be reciting Guru Parampara and Dvayam. So there, upayam will be first and upayam will be next. But in the instruction given in this pAsuram, the greatness of upayam, goal, is highlighted first, and then the means to attain that goal is highlighted next. So this is a very important point to understand why this pAsuram is slightly different in the structure compared to Dvayamaha Mantram. Periyavachan Pillai, all our commentators are so merciful that they go through each of these and they highlight each of these so that we understand clearly. We don't have any confusion. So that is explained here. Now, the practical examples are given. During instruction stage, it is said that Sargakamo Jyotishtomena Ejeta. To attain Swargam, you pursue Jyotishtomam. This is explained as an example. So the Shastram says, this is Taittiriya Upanishad. Shastram says that to attain Swargam, you have to perform Jyotishtomam. Now, performing Jyotishtomam is very difficult. So if we say perform Jyotishtomam first, people will get demotivated and move away. But if we tell Swargakama, that is to attain Swargam, which is a great place, then people will start listening. What do we have to do? Then if we say Jyotishtomam, Yajeta, you perform this Jyotishtomam, then people will have some interest and they will start pursuing it. So Shastram also is doing the same thing. In the Vyutpatti time, that is, when the knowledge is instructed, when the knowledge is understood, that time goal is first emphasized and then the means for that is highlighted. But when it comes to Anushtanam, when it comes to practice, we cannot say, give me Swargam first and then I will do Swargam. So, Jyotishtomam. Then Shastram will say, no, first you have to do the Jyotishtomam, then only Swargam can be attained. So, there is difference between learning stage and application stage, practice stage. So, that is the difference between Dvayamaha Mantram's structure and this pAsuram's structure. So, in this pAsuram, this pAsuram is in our learning stage. So, here the goal is shown first and the means are shown next. But because Dvayam is anushtanam for us. We have to constantly be practicing dvayam. There, the means is done first and then goal is shown separately. Now, another difference between Tondaradi Podi Alvar and other Alvars are also shown. In the Nammalvar's pasuram, Agalagille and Iraiminnu, Nammalvar showed only upAyam. The goal, the upAyam, that is, how to do Sharanagati is shown by Nammalvar in that single pasuram. And then Andal Nachiyar, in her pasuram, Chittanjirgale, she is showing the goal, that is to do Kaikariyam for bhagavAn for his pleasure. Now, even Nammalvar and Andal Nachiyar, they have not given upAyam and upAyam in the same pasuram. In the case of Nammalvar, Odivil Kalamellam is highlighting the upAyam, the goal to be attained, continuous eternal Kaikariyam. And the process for that is shown by Nammalvar in Agalagillen Irayim Endru Pasuram, that is done by Nammalvar. Similarly, Andal Nachiyar also in Karavegal Pinsendru Pasuram, she identified the upAyam. And then in Chittanjirgale Pasuram, she identified the upAyam. We are constantly using the term upAyam and upAyam. We should be very clear. upAyam is the means to attain bhagavAn. upAyam is the goal to be attained. That is eternal Kaikariyam. So we have to be very clear with the terms. Then only we can understand these things. So Nammalvar highlighted upAyam in one pasuram and upAyam in one full padigam. upAyam is shown in Agalagillen pasuram. upAyam is shown in Odivil Kalamellam padigam. In the case of Andal Nachiyar, she highlighted upAyam in Karavegal Pinsendru pasuram, upAyam in Chittanjirgale pasuram. The greatness of Tondaradi Podi Alvar is he showed both upAyam and upAyam in the same pasuram. So in this pasuram, Memberul Pogaviti itself, first two lines talk about upAyam, goal, and second two lines talk about upAyam. So that is Alvar's greatness. Now, what is the connection between previous pasuram and this pasuram? So far, Periyavachan Pillai has given elaborate explanation for why bhagavAn should only be considered as upAyam, even though Alvar has shown that Nama Sankirtanam is upAyam. That is according to Shastram. But we Sri Vaishnavas consider the highest upAyam, which is bhagavAn, as the upAyam only. So that principle is beautifully elaborated by Periyavachan Pillai so far. Now there should be no more doubt about other upAyams, including Nama Sankirtanam. For our Sri Vaishnava sampradhAyam, for Sri Vaishnavas, Alvars have clearly shown that bhagavAn is the upAyam. We don't consider anything else as upAyam. Everything else, whatever we do, if we do recite some pasurams, if we recite his names, if we do puja Kaikariyam, if we do garland making Kaikariyam, whatever it may be, they are all only Kaikariyams. We don't expect anything in return for that. The purpose of saying Kaikariyam is, Kaikariyam means we don't expect anything in return. We just do it for the pleasure of bhagavAn. If anything is done as upAyam, we expect something in return. So we don't do karma yogam, jnana yogam, whatever we do in our daily activities, our sandhyavandanam, our thiruvaradhanam, whatever it may be, everything is done as Kaikariyam to bhagavAn. So that is the point to be noted here. So after explaining all of this, Periyavachan Pillai now moves on to explaining the connection between previous pasuram and current pasuram. Because all along we have seen what is the connection between previous pasuram and current pasuram. So here that is explained. Now in the previous pasuram, Alvar said, Aliyannam Payyalennar Ammavo Kodiyavaru. bhagavAn Periya Perumal is not considering me to be his pet child. He is not considering me as someone who is very dear to him. So Alvar said in the last three pasurams, Taviyandru Ulagamellam, Madaikandru Varemunendum, and Tedivila Kalangar Neerso. bhagavAn's Saulabhyam is shown. First, Trivikramavataram, which is easy approachability for everyone. That is shown. More than Trivikramavataram, in the next pasuram, Madaikandru Varemunendum, Krishnavataram is highlighted. Krishnavataram is more easily approachable for devotees when it comes to approaching bhagavAn. And then Archavataram, Telivila Kalangal Neersul is Archavataram. in Ranganatha form, Bhagavan is present. That is even more easily approachable for devotees. So this sequence is shown. So even though Bhagavan's simplicity is present in all these levels, Bhagavan still not explicitly acknowledged Alvar through his words that you are my dear child, you are my favorite. That is what Alvar is expecting. Alvar wants Bhagavan to accept him and acknowledge him. So that has not happened. So, on seeing that, on seeing Alvar in a worried way reciting this pasuram, Bhagavan says, Bhagavan thinks, in this world which is filled with worldly, materialistic enjoyment, in this, now Alvar is pursuing the apt Purushartham, that is eternal Kaikaryam. And to attain that Kaikaryam, Alvar is simply looking at our hands. This is Bhagavan thinking. He is not going anywhere. He is not depending on his own self-efforts. He is not pursuing any other upayam. He is totally dependent on me. So, on top of all of this, he is not able to tolerate the delay. He wants to immediately attain me. So, he is eager. He is very urgently desiring to reach me. Now, we will not get anyone like this, anyone like Alvar anymore in this samsaram. So, Periya Perumal became very happy, very, very pleasant, very, very pleased, and revealing all his happiness in his divine face. Alvar observes that, and Alvar now declares, now I can see the radiance, the pleasure of my state of mind. You have understood my state of mind, and because of that, you are completely pleased. Now that I am completely surrendered unto you, I have placed all my responsibilities unto your divine feet, and seeing that you are greatly happy, you are very happy. When you see anyone totally surrendering unto you without any self-effort, you are totally pleased. Your heart is divine, heart is totally pleased. And that is revealed in your divine face. I can see the joy in your face. And Alvar is speaking this pasuram to Bhagavan, seeing Bhagavan's very pleasant face. Now, that is the theme of this pasuram. Now, Charama Shlokam is ordering Sharanagati. In Charama Shlokam, Bhagavan says, you surrender unto me. He orders us. Now, this pasuram in line of Dvaya Mahamantram. Now, whatever is said, ordered in Charama Shlokam, that is practically implemented by those who have taste in Bhagavan. So that is present in Dvaya Mahamantram. So Dvaya Mahamantram is the practice of those who have faith, who have taste in Bhagavan's divine names. So that is Dvaya Mahamantram. So Dvaya Mahamantram is practiced by certain people, prapannas. Those who practice that Dvaya Mahamantram, Bhagavan is very pleased with them. Those who are totally surrendered unto Bhagavan, Bhagavan is very pleased with them. So the bliss, the joy of Bhagavan towards such people, such devotees, is highlighted in this pasuram, says Periyavachan Pillai. So that is how Periyavachan Pillai explains the greatness of Dvaya Mahamantram, greatness of Charama Shlokam, greatness of this pasuram, how Sri Vaishnavas should not consider anything else as upayam, even forgetfully, even casually, we should not think anything else as upayam, and we should completely think that Bhagavan is the only upayam that is established by this pasuram. And as we have seen before, just as Bhagavan explained the greatness of Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Avatar Rahasya Jnanam, Purushottama Vidya, and all of those upayams, but finally rejected all of them and concluded that Bhagavan only is the upayam. Here also, Alvar highlighted the greatness of Nama Sankirtanam, greatness of Bhagavan's Archavataram, holding on to Archavataram, Divideshams, all of that. Still, When it comes to philosophy, when it comes to upayam, bhagavAn is the upayam, and we must consider bhagavAn only as the upayam, and whatever we do, we should do it as Kaikaryam, says Periyavachan Pillai in this introduction. So this is the elaborate introduction given by Periyavachan Pillai. Actually, if we understand this introduction clearly, this one session, one lecture clearly, we will not have any confusion about our sampradaya principles. In that manner, Periyavachan Pillai has completely dismantled all the misunderstandings one may have and clearly established the philosophy of our sampradaya. Now let us see the word by word meanings. There's a very clear explanation given by Periyavachan Pillai in this pasuram. Let us see the word by word meanings. Punal soul, surrounded by Kaveri, surrounded by the river Kaveri, which is very sacred, very holy. Arangathane, oh, one who is mercifully reclining in Koil, in Sri Rangam. Oh, my dear Sri Ranganatha, Memborul. The here Memborul has many meanings, but the main meaning is the worldly, bodily enjoyments, which appear to be great. When we look at the world, everything bodily fame, bodily dominance, bodily authority. This is what appears great. If somebody is speaking loudly, if somebody is very confident, people think that that person is the leader. So this brings about an appearance of greatness. Pogavittu, giving up all of that along with the traces. Meimayai, this real truth of the true nature of Atma. Miga understanding it clearly, without any doubt. Amparisu, the Bhagavad Kainkaryam, which is the apt goal for the true nature of Jivatma. Looking at the true nature of Jivatma, who is a eternal servitor, for him, the eternal Kainkaryam, service, is the real goal. Arindu kondu, knowing this, Aimbulan Agathadaki, withdrawing all the desires from all the senses, controlling all the senses so that they don't go towards other aspects. So this portion is the goal. Goal is to be completely engaged in eternal Kainkaryam. Next part of the pasuram highlights the means for that. Aimbulan Agathadaki. So without acquiring Swabhoktrutva Buddhi, that is, I am the enjoyer, that concept must be completely eliminated, completely controlled. And then Kambara. Here, Kambu means the traces, any attachment that is in the upayantarams, other upayams, Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Tirunama Sankirtanam, Divyadesha Vasam, Avatara Rasinyanam, everything. In all of those upayams, without any attachment, Talai Shiraithu, eliminating all the burdens on our head, that is, keeping any responsibility with us for our protection. That, eliminating all of that. So we should not have any attachment to any upayam, whatever the upayam may be. We should not have any attachment. Un kadai talai irundu, that is, un talai kadai irundu, remaining at your entrance and protecting you, guarding you. Vazhum. The persons, Atmas, who are living. Vazhum here means living a great life. This life is the greatest life. That is, being free from all attachments to all other upayams, being completely focused on Bhagavad Kainkaryam. This is the real life. Everything else, people may be enjoying, having joy, but that is not real life. That is only waste of time. We are only indulging more and more in materialistic aspects and getting trapped in this samsara. So that is not life. The real life is being free from attachments to worldly aspects and being totally surrendered to Bhagavan. So being uplifted, being liberated, such sombarai. Somber means lazy people. Vadum sombar, that is the key word here. Vadum sombar means those who are lazy when it comes to protecting themselves, taking care of themselves, getting joy, worldly, bodily pleasure for themselves. They are very lazy. They don't do anything. Such persons, those devotees who are very lazy when it comes to personal pursuits, personal enjoyments, such people, Ugati Polam, are you not the one who feels very happy about them? That is, Bhagavan feels happy about those who are completely surrendered and those who don't seek any materialistic pursuits or any pursuits to attain Bhagavan and any enjoyment outside Bhagavan. So, such people are very pleasing to Bhagavan, very dear to Bhagavan. Isn't that the case? Asks Alvar. Very important pasuram, very important explanation. This will clarify all the doubts regarding pursuits of other upayams and engagement in other worldly enjoyments. All of those should be given up and we should focus on Bhagavan's lotus feet as the upayam and Bhagavan's lotus feet as the upayam. So please go through the detailed meanings for this pasuram in our website also, dhivyaprabandham.coil.org also. Most importantly, please share this video to all the Sri Vaishnavas, those who don't understand Tamil, even those who understand Tamil. Please share this video to everyone so that they can understand the most important aspect of our Sri Vaishnava sampradhAyam, what is to be avoided, what is to be pursued. Upayantarams, whatever upayams may be, they must be avoided. Thankaryams must be pursued joyfully without any hesitation. That is what our Purvacharyas generally say. If it is upayam, we will not even cut a small grass. But if it is kainkaryam, we will even try to lift a mountain. So when it comes to kainkaryam, we can do everything in that mood for the joy of Bhagavan. But when it comes to upayam, for our own protection, for our own upliftment, we will not engage in anything else. That is the key point to be understood here. ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், தொண்டரடிப்படி ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பெரியவாச்சான் பிள்ளை திருவடிகளே சரணம், புத்தூர் சுவாமி திருவடிகளே சரணம்.